Hello, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you and your wife or girlfriend have a good time tonight wherever you take her to eat, if you haven't already done so. Today we're talking about the double barrel shotgun. Now, a lot of people think of this as the quintessential Fudd gun because it's most commonly associated with Elmer Fudd. He's going to get that wascally wabbit, be very, very quiet and all that. Wabbit season, duck season, wabbit season. It's often claimed that this is the gun that Fudds claim you should only need. All you need is a shotgun. You just need a double barrel shotgun. Truth be told, if these people, our enemies, knew more about guns, they'd probably want to ban shotguns before they banned AR-15s. Now, this isn't a video saying this is all you need and you shouldn't have an AR-15. I will never say that. You will never hear that come out of my mouth on this channel or anywhere else. But this gun has an interesting history, the double barrel shotgun. They actually go back somewhat as a war weapon in some cases. During the war between the states, what we down here call the War of Northern Aggression, some people like to use them in cavalry. In fact, this book, None But Texians, by Jeff Murrah, had this about 20 years now, is a history of the 8th Texas Cavalry, otherwise known as Terry's Texas Rangers. And they often favored the double barrel shotgun. In fact, his early list of arms listed in the book lists 597 double barrel shotguns. Other arms included pistols, sometimes as many as 2, or even as many as 4 or 6. About 579 Colt Navy revolvers, 36 caliber, 92 Colt Army revolvers, and there are Sharps rifles, carbines, and other things in here. But shotguns really stand out. And you think, well, gee, all you have is 2 shots. Why would you want that? Well, each of these 2 shots have 9 pellets of buckshot coming out of it, or whatever the loader decides to put in. And if you're charging into a line of men, then one shot is going to do a lot of damage to possibly more than one target, especially if they're all bunched together. And in doing that, even if you don't kill the man, you've taken him out of action and off the battlefield. Then, of course, you discard your shotgun and go to your pistols. But in this case, those were muzzle-loading shotguns where you had a rod right here and had to load each one. But after the war, as cartridge guns started coming more into play, you broke the action, put the shells in, and that's what I got here. Of course, those were typically hammerless. Those were typically hammered shotguns. This is a hammerless shotgun. You don't need to cock it back. It's a little bit safer. But these do actually have a time in the 19th century. I thought just from a cursory checking online, these hammerless shotguns were developed as early as the mid to late 1780s, and really started coming into use in the 1880s, I believe. The 1870s, came into use in the early mid to late 1870s and started coming into heavier use in the 1880s. This in particular is a Remington SPR 220. While it says Remington, it was actually made in Russia by a company called Raikal, if I'm pronouncing that right, R-A-I-K-A-L. And this is just a simple coach gun. And what coach gun means is it's like typically a sawed-off short barrel shotgun that a man would carry on a stagecoach or for defense. This particular one, my dad used for many years as a home defense gun. I bought it for him. When these were made and imported into the U.S. back in 2005, 2008, around that time period, these were super inexpensive. I mean, I got this for him for a birthday present one year, and he kept it as a home defense gun. And now he's moved in with us, and I just kind of keep it in my office, and I'm out here playing with it. So the cartridges on these guns were not always the plastic ones that you see here. Plastic, I don't think, started coming into widespread use till maybe after World War II. I may be wrong about that, but they were not. Originally, these were done with either brass cartridges or paper cartridges. Paper cartridges? Well, yes, paper cartridges were widely used until recently. Here's one right here that I reloaded. I reloaded 2 paper cartridges that I expended in smokeless powder with a box I got from a client of mine several years ago. This is paper. It's made of cardboard. And these are all black powder here that I'm going to be shooting. It's 80 grains of homemade black powder behind 9 pellets of buckshot using a CCI primer. So let's get started and we'll see what kind of fun we can have. Well, as you can see, I got the bad guy. I fired, the last shot you saw, I fired both triggers simultaneously. And the first shot, just in my looking at it, only 1 or 2 pellets got the guy. The second shot peppered him, as did the twin barrel firing simultaneously shot. So it got the guy, but that's about 12 yards. This is a sawed-off gun, so it's going to tend to spread out a lot quicker. It's really more for close range, but it can still be effective. The load here is not really that hard on you. It doesn't hit your shoulder very hard, and it allows for quicker follow-up shots. It's not modern smokeless powder that about knocks your arm off and you have to kind of recover from it. But these guns were sometimes used, you see them in movies a lot, sometimes used to settle mobs down in the Old West and antebellum period. Shotguns, I think, started gradually even being called riot guns to control mobs and things like that. And part of that probably had to do with the spread of buckshot pattern that is an intimidating factor, and to stop mobs of people when you were outnumbered. Now, is that something I would recommend doing today? You can, in some cases, find yourself in trouble trying to employ that tactic. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it is a concern. So just kind of keep that in mind before you listen to what I say and go try to defend your home like that, or wherever you may be. Anyway, I'm gonna try something else in a minute. But first, let's see how these paper cartridges do. They fit in. There you go. See how they work. You know, I rather like this bandolier. It's not really a bandolier, it's a web belt, but I just kind of strung it out and laid it across here for ease, just to kind of stay out of the way of my gun belt. But yeah, these are paper cartridges. Let's see, did they fracture? No, they didn't. Most of these, when I fired them in smokeless form, the original smokeless form, these brass cases back here tended to fracture. Like maybe it's their age, maybe they were designed to do that for only one use. But for black powder, these seem to be working here. So I'm gonna try something else here in a minute. On that note about what I said about stopping mobs, which you see in a lot of westerns like John Wayne movies and things like that, of the town marshal saying, "All right, guys, hold up. You're not getting this prisoner." Well, here's 3 water bottles bunched together with the target. I'm going to fire at the target and see if maybe some of the pattern can't catch the other bad guys here. So let's try that out. Get back. Stay back. Stay back. Well, not a whole lot of spread. 1 pellet got through here aiming at this guy, but none of these others were touched. So it wasn't that much of a spread. So let's try shooting these other guys and see what happens. I just have to do this.
No.
Well, that's pretty much all we got today. Fired all the ammunition here, but it's sure been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this video, and I hope you did too. If you like this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. My next video, I'm planning will be going back to smokeless powder. I'll probably be doing a video with 357 Magnum and different barrel lengths, 4 and 6 inch barrel, old gun versus new gun, because I've got a Colt Python, a 6-inch Highway Patrolman, 4-inch Model 19 that I'd like to try out with different ammunition and just test the velocities. So that'll be what's next. I appreciate your watching. You have a good weekend. Thank you.